In conclusion, Nigeria is happy to note that this dialogue has reinforced the values of mutual respect, shared responsibility, and forward-looking cooperation. Nigeria is determined to translate today's commitments into tangible outcomes that improve lives, strengthen democracy, and secure a sustainable future for generations to come. Finally, we appreciate Her Excellency Kaja Kallas, High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Vice President of the European Union, and the delegation for their presence, and wish them safe trip back home. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. May I respectfully invite Her Excellency Ms. Kaja Kallas, High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Vice President of the European Commission, to present her statement.
Dear Minister, dear Yusuf, it's really my great pleasure to be here in Nigeria today. And this morning we co-chaired the EU Ministerial Dialogue. Nigeria is a key partner to the European Union, and strong potential is there also to deepen our cooperation even further. This may be my first visit to Nigeria, but I know the strength of your country, and this will not be the last. As Africa's most populous nation and economic engine, you are political heavyweight and also regional anchor. Nigeria's stability is crucial for the entire region. EU-Nigeria cooperation has grown steadily in recent years, and we want this positive track to continue. So this morning we also spoke about key areas where we work closely together. First, on security, Nigeria faces a dangerous rise in jihadist violence. Extremist groups like Boko Haram pose not only a threat to Nigeria, but also to the region. Nigeria is a bulwark in the fight against terrorism, and Europe stands shoulder to shoulder with Nigeria. Over the past decade, we have mobilized more than 700 million euros to support counterterrorism, stabilization, rule of law, and the multinational joint task force. But our cooperation is not only tactical, it's also strategic. Earlier this year, we launched the first EU-Nigeria Peace, Security and Defense Dialogue, and this is how we turn our partnership into action, by defining the priorities and strengthening cooperation. Nigeria is also a major partner on trade, investment, and green and digital transitions. The EU is Nigeria's main trading and investment partner. More than a quarter of Nigeria's trade is with the European Union. Over 200 European companies are operating here and creating 130,000 jobs. The EU's Global Gateway program is well on track and with Nigeria and in Nigeria. And today we move forward with new projects in digital, agriculture, health, worth 66 million euros of grants and 221 million euros in low-interest loans. The EU-Nigeria Business Forum, which we will organize in Lagos in June, will boost the investments and partnerships between our companies and private sector organizations. We also look forward to negotiating with Nigeria Science, Technology and Innovation Agreement under the Horizon Europe program. And all this is a win for Nigeria, but it's also a win for the European Union. And third, on migration. We have made real progress on the EU-Nigeria readmission agreement to ensure safe and dignified returns of those Nigerians who can no longer stay in the European Union. So I thank you, Yusuf, for your leadership really in these negotiations and also initializing the agreement today. This is part of broader cooperation on migration. It shows that even on sensitive issues, trust delivers results. And finally, we discussed the broader regional outlook. West Africa faces serious challenges, from unconstitutional changes of power, terrorist threats in the Sahel spilling over to neighboring countries, to humanitarian crises in parts of the region, In this turbulent situation, the defense of the rules-based international order matters more than ever. That is why the EU remains firmly committed to its partnership with ECOWAS. We strongly support ECOWAS as a framework for regional stability, as the future of standby force illustrates. And you can count on our long-term commitment. Dear Minister, the EU is a reliable and predictable partner for Nigeria. We believe in this partnership, and I hope today's discussions also kick off an ambitious upgrade of the EU-Nigeria partnership. So thank you again for hosting us and welcoming us so warmly. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. At this juncture, there will be questions from the men of the press. Please kindly state your name and the organization you represent. And let your question be precise, please. Very few questions, please. 2 questions.
My name is Nduka Ojenmo. I work for Bloomberg News. My question is to you. I wanted to get your reaction on Donald Trump's seemingly backing down on Iran. That's just happened in the last couple of hours. And I'm also curious to know if there are any critical minerals deals you've signed with Nigeria during this visit. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for this question. I think the recent statement that there will be no attacks on energy infrastructure is a very welcome development. I think any attacks on infrastructure, are causing chaos in the region and really escalating this war even further. What comes to critical raw materials, we were discussing this today. I think there is definitely room for cooperation. We haven't yet signed a memorandum of understanding, but we definitely have an interest and we are working to find a common solution.
This brings us to the end of this joint briefing. There will be group photograph immediately after this briefing, please. One more question. Your finger.
Once again, good afternoon, Your Excellency. Once again, good afternoon, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, we would like to know a bit more about the facility that you just mentioned, that EU will support Nigeria in hydrocarbon by emission, to tackle emission. So is there any timeline for this project?
No, I think you got what I said wrong. I was talking about diversifying from hydrocarbons, increasing our energy mix, so that so we're talking about green energy. We're talking about even things that would certainly in the future prove to be much more efficient and efficacious. So green hydrogen, for instance, we're already working with Germany, as you're aware, on creating a framework, on creating a strategy for Nigeria on green hydrogen. So these are the sort of things, and there's a lot that is going on in the area of photovoltaics, so solar, wind. The EU is already working with Nigeria on studies, on technical support, so that we're able to identify new areas where wind energy is possible. Because at the moment, I think it's just Katsina where Nigeria has experimented with that. So that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you. Like I rightly said earlier, there will be group photograph immediately after this program right here. On behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I thank Your Excellencies, the delegation and media for your presence. God bless you.